All right, so we're live now. Hold on, let me just check this real quick. All right, guys, this is Ty Zen broadcasting from Buckhead in Atlanta, Georgia. And we have a very, very special guest and a very special announcement today. I'd like to announce to everyone and share with everyone that and introduce everyone to Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister, from his channel over on YouTube as well. And he's going to be joining us, guys, on this channel, the Cryptocurrency Market channel. And he will start doing a weekly show and share some of his thoughts and his ideas on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So I want everyone to say hello and welcome to Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the great introduction, Ty Zen. I am very excited about having a show on your channel and making appearances on your channel. I think is a great partnership, and I think everyone will be happy about it, and I'm just pumped. I'm excited.
Yeah. Hey, so that our, hold on here. So that our viewers get a better idea of who you are and what your philosophies and your thoughts and your ideas about Bitcoin are, you know. Could you talk a little bit about yourself, Adam? Like where you're currently at, and maybe talk about how you first heard about Bitcoin, because everybody's always interested in the origin, the Bitcoin origin stories.
Bitcoin origin stories. Well, yeah. I am from Baltimore, Maryland. Some people might recognize that accent. And back in 2011, I was on the internet, and I've always been in the financial sites, but I really started learning about maybe libertarian sites, anarcho-capitalist sites. And I really liked what Doug Casey had to say. And from Doug Casey, I started finding out other libertarian, anarcho-capitalist type of people. And by 2012, I started hearing these other people talk about Bitcoin. And immediately in 2012, I was like, this sounds really cool. This is a unique opportunity. I was very familiar with the .com boom, and this sounded very similar. Like, this is a really early stage thing. This reminds me of like the internet back in 1993. And so when I heard a little bit more, I was a little hesitant to get Bitcoin in 2012 because there was no easy way to do it. And I heard about these price fluctuations, and it kind of fell off my radar. And then again in 2013, it came back on my radar when it started to go real high again. And I actually was in Detroit one weekend, the suburbs of Detroit one weekend. And I started hearing about this boom, and I saw that Coinbase was already open at that point. And I'm like, I got to get this now. Unfortunately, I was unable to get it until I got back to Baltimore, but I got my first Bitcoin from Coinbase. I believe I got 2 Bitcoin from Coinbase in November of 2013. Now from there, I slowly, was getting, the price crashed because of Mt. Gox and everything and all that, but I still had faith in it. I was very happy I did not buy from Mt. Gox. I was very happy I got it from Coinbase. And then the price really started to crash some more in 2014, but I started kind of going to forums online and talking about it and just buying little bits here and there. And, until I had a bit, I had some. And it was after 2014, I was really engaged on the internet, reading about it, learning about it as much as I could, and still learning about anarcho-capitalism and all that stuff too. And just changing my complete outlook on life, really, just and realizing that politics can be just a total waste. So when 2015 arrived and Bitcoin was really low and people were speaking badly of it, that's when I was like, I got to start going to real life events. So I started going to conventions, not just in the United States, in Chicago, but I went all the way to South Africa for a convention. I went to Prague for a Bitcoin conference. And then I really started getting into it more and more. And I guess I kind of left this off. I made my first Bitcoin video in 2013 when I first got excited about it, but it was only one. And I made a lot of Baltimore videos back then. And so slowly over time, I believe it was 2015 is when I started really making a lot of Bitcoin videos, and I really committed myself to making a new Bitcoin video every day in late 2015, maybe the beginning of 2016. So I've made a new Bitcoin video every day for most of 2016, definitely. And from after the conferences and networking with people and making these videos and getting more and more Bitcoin, it just started taking over huge hunks of my life. And my channel became popular for a Bitcoin channel. The subscribers kept growing. I appeared on Ty's show. I mean, it just started blossoming, and everything just, I knew more and more people. And from there, this is where we are today. It's my channel. I've gone to Africa for a Bitcoin tour where I spoke about Bitcoin in Southern Africa. That's one of my highlights. I really I think I have a good understanding for an American about some of the on-the-ground aspects of Bitcoin implementation in developing nations, because I have hung out in developing nations, actually spoke to the people, seen what they want from Bitcoin, and that it's really hard for people to get Bitcoin in some of these developing nations, and for people to really understand it too, because they're scared of schemes. There's all sorts of other aspects, but I'm interested in everything Bitcoin. I'm interested in the marketing aspect. And I think what we're doing here with all of our channels, all the Bitcoin channels out there, we're ambassadors, and we should try to make it appeal to as many people as possible, not scare people off. And just, Bitcoin is not a company. We're going to have to do the marketing for Bitcoin. So marketing is one of my passions in life, and I have been involved in marketing before. I majored in marketing at Washington University in St. Louis. So I'm living the dream right now. I travel around all the time. It's really great. And it takes being, you got to be a little bit frugal sometimes and save your money as you're growing up through your 20s and everything. But it definitely pays off, and I'm glad this Bitcoin thing came along when it did. If you're young, in your teens or early 20s now, you have just an amazing opportunity. It is still so early on in all of this. I mean, you could build your whole life around this. So that's my story. I'm sorry if I rambled on or anything like that.
No, that's it. That's interesting, because people always want to know who all these broadcasters like yourself and myself and my other business partner and fellow investor, leonfu.com. People always want to know how we got into it. Now, I originally, myself and leonfu.com, we both got into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency investing back at the end of 2012, early 2013, because it was the first time in human history that we have seen that there was opportunities for the people like us on Main Street to be able to invest and have profits and life-changing profits and life-changing money, like the people that invest in IPOs on Wall Street. And I always share this about how the guys like Peter Thiel, who was an early investor in Facebook, and Peter Thiel was the former one of the partners and founders with Elon Musk, the owner of Tesla Motors. They used to own PayPal and sell it, and then they took the profits from that. At least Peter Thiel did, and he took $500,000 of profits from the sale of PayPal, and he put it into Facebook when Mark Zuckerberg just started Facebook and needed to raise money, and that $500,000 turned into $1 billion when it became public. And the question or the beef that I have with Wall Street is that only the people that have big, deep pockets or wealthy friends were able to be allowed to invest into the Facebook IPO before it came out. And it's like, how come the people like you and I, Adam, on Main Street cannot invest into it? I have $10, I have $50, I have $5,000 to invest into it. I'm sure you can come up with $500 or $5,000 to invest into Facebook when it was before it became public. How come the people like us were not allowed to invest into it? And it's simply because the American laws are set so that you have to make, you have to be an accredited investor, or you have to know someone, or you have to be friends with Mark Zuckerberg. Why can't it be publicly available to everyone, right? And Wall Street is saying that we don't have enough intelligence, or we don't have enough education or knowledge to invest into a company like that, and it's too risky. But that should be something that you and I should make the decision on. That someone on Wall Street should not be the one that dictates whether or not the people like you and I on Main Street be able to determine for us whether or not how we invest our money and how much risk we can take. And I think that one of the things that kind of like united, your channel and our channel was that you also have the same belief about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, that it allows the little guys like us on Main Street for the first time in human history to be able to create life-changing profits and life-changing money in Bitcoin, because someone with $10 or $20 or $50, any one of us now can invest into Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies. And there's no age restriction. There's no ethnic restriction. You don't need to get permission from anybody. Anybody from the Vietnam, where I come from, or somebody from China or Africa, if they only have $5 or $10, they have the ability to make 100% profits, 200% profits, 500%, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000% profits, like the people on Wall Street do. So it's that was what got us to start the channel, and on our channel, Cryptocurrency Market, to spread the word about this, similar to how you started your channel to spread the word on that. So you want to talk a little bit about how, your thoughts on what was the game changer for you when you saw Bitcoins for the first time?
Well, I want to say that I agree about the government says they're trying to protect us by defining you as an accredited investor, that you have to have $50,000. And since I have this anarcho-capitalist background, a recent one, I don't.
Hey, real quick too, Adam, because you mentioned the word anarcho multiple times, and just for the international audience that may not be familiar with the concept of anarcho or anarchy, could you just quickly explain that real quick?
Well, it is complex. Anarchy is basically no rulers. People think it means no rules, but it means no rulers. Now, anarcho-capitalist, I'm probably going to butcher the definition. I mean, it's just free market capitalism to an extreme, I guess. That the government, I don't really believe in governments at all. And I think people could rule, at least smart people could rule themselves very, very easily. But this is a philosophical debate, and I don't want to get into all of that right now. But I mean, you can basically say that I'm a free market guy. No, I don't believe in any government regulation, basically. And so the government they highly regulate the financial markets in the United States. They're highly regulated for our protection, quote unquote. And it just limits the middle class and the poor from getting into the game. And I think that's wrong. They're saying, well, we're trying to protect little old ladies from getting ripped off. Everyone should be responsible for themselves and not have to think, well, the government's going to back me up and bail me out. I mean the personal responsibility that, this is a chance that I'm going to take, and I'm willing to deal with the consequences. And we live in a world today where people don't like dealing with consequences. They like having the government bail them out. I'm not about that. I'm about just doing your thing. And that is why I like Bitcoin, because and that is what attracted me originally. There are no regulations. There are no rules. Anyone can start a Bitcoin channel if they want to. The decentralization of it all. Anyone can start a Bitcoin fork if they would start their own cryptocurrency if they want to. There's no government entity telling you can't do it, or stopping you at least. There might be governments that try to regulate it, but they're not going to be able to stop it. People will be able to do it secretly or whatever. But Ty and I are definitely on the same page when it comes to this pre-IPO type of deal, that this is a very unique opportunity for people. And unfortunately, people would have this opportunity if they were allowed to get into some of these companies like Google and Facebook at the pre-IPO time, but they're not. So Bitcoin is its own, and I made a video about this a year ago when Bitcoin was $400, telling people this is like a Facebook pre-IPO type of thing. But I still believe it is still super early in Bitcoin. I cannot stress that enough either. And I think Ty also agrees with that aspect of it also. So we're on the same page on a lot of things here. We're not on the same page on everything, but that's the beauty. People shouldn't agree on everything. So
hey, there's one thing that I want to share with my audience about you and about myself that many people may or may not be aware of. Outside of the undisputed heavyweight Bitcoin maximalist, Tone Vase, right? I think you might be the second.
No.
I think you might be like the middleweight, right? So,
No.
but you are a big. You do believe in Bitcoin, and so do I. And a lot of people don't realize that even though I trade and invest in altcoins and other cryptocurrencies outside of Bitcoin, I still hold my reserves in Bitcoin. You know, I strongly believe in Bitcoins over any of the other ones. The reason why I invest in them is because there's opportunities to create life-changing profits in it, right?
Yeah.
Not because, you know, I'm a big, you know, to me they're all software, you know, and I believe that eventually, you know, with Bitcoin, they're going to figure out how to add those features that the other ones have eventually. It's just only a matter of time, you know. You want to share your thoughts on your beliefs about Bitcoin and the altcoins?
Yeah, definitely. Well, first of all, it's funny, so many people say when they cash out from altcoins, they're really going into Bitcoin. That's the thing. They're not going into dollars. They want to get their Bitcoin, to increase their Bitcoin amount. And that's really one of the cool things I like about altcoins. Now, when I talk about altcoins on my channel, I'm just very careful because, as I said before, people are free to make any decision they want to do, but I'm trying to inform people, and I don't want people to make the wrong decisions. What are there, like 700 altcoins out there? So many of them are not worth anything. You shouldn't be messing with. And especially younger guys are just, they want to gamble. They want to gamble. So I say, you know, there are a lot of gambles out there. They are true gambles. And you know, you might as well play the lottery instead of getting into some of these altcoins. And then they start getting into this cloud mining and all these other like if you hang out too much in certain areas of cryptocurrency, you end up on the wrong path into scams. And I try to keep people on the straight and narrow, what I think is the straight and narrow. But with all that being said, I do feel that there's a top tier of altcoins, that there are going to be some survivors out of all of this. There's some useful features out there. The anonymous feature, maybe some microtransaction features that some offer. And so every once in a while, since I keep track of all the news of cryptocurrency, I will say, you know, this is a good speculation. And when I say it's a good speculation, I consider Bitcoin an investment. It's not, to me, it's not a speculation because I am very confident it is going to do well. I don't think I'm risking that. I know I'm risking it, but it's not the same level as some of these altcoins. When I say speculation, I mean you should be able to, if you invest in this altcoin, you should be willing to lose it all, and you should be comfortable. You should be comfortable, and you should be ready to lose it all. But in the past, I gave a famous, before Monero was at like $1.75. I said, you know, this is one that could double suddenly or triple, and it did coincidentally. And I'm not trying to say I can predict the future, but the reason I did is it's anonymous, and I thought there were some good things going on at the time, some good rumors, whatever. And you know, I've every once in a while I'll mention. People have heard me mention Ethereum Classic. Right now with Litecoin, for example, with this whole segregated witness thing with Bitcoin. Litecoin is going to implement segregated witness before Bitcoin, and it could be on January 28th. I mean, so I'm just telling people, you know, keep your eye on Litecoin right now. And this is something especially if eventually if Bitcoin doesn't implement segregated witness, then yeah, Litecoin, and Litecoin's going to have this little niche market of like fast microtransactions that Bitcoin won't be able to do if it does not implement the Lightning Network and segregated witness. So these are things to keep in mind, and they're not like random guesses. When I talk about speculations, it's not like a random, I'm not looking at some chart and everything like that. I'm talking about news that I've heard and just logical conclusions you can base around that news. So sorry to interrupt.
And maybe we can go talk about the Lightning Network and maybe talk about segregated witness in your future shows on this cryptocurrency market channel. Now, hey, let's talk about this real quick, right? One of the things that one of the reasons why I decided to collaborate and partner up with Adam Meister here is that there's a method in which he communicates to his audience that myself and Leon really like. And that's your ability to communicate in layman terms so somebody on the streets like myself can understand it, right? Now, let me ask you something. There are several different, YouTubers out there and other crypto people out there, and they get very technical, right? To where you just get dizzy and your eyes just glaze over. Why did you take this approach of taking the Main Street, average Joe approach so that everybody can understand? Could you talk about that? Because I know that you're capable of understanding a lot of that technical stuff and technically just as good as any of the other guys. But why did you make that decision to bring it down so that the normal people like us can understand it? Why did you take that approach?
Yeah, well, there definitely is some crypto snobbery out there where people just feel like they almost have to talk down to people. And for me, it all goes back to my marketing background.
Mm-hmm.
I have been involved in different businesses through the years where I had to work with technical people, and they always had a difficult time understanding the marketing side of things and the communication side of things. But they were geniuses, and I couldn't understand some of their technical stuff, obviously. But you need both for a successful venture. Okay, you need to have people that understand the technical. So I saw in Bitcoin almost immediately there was no marketing side to this at all, and even the channels that are on YouTube tend to be very complex and tend to have people on that are very. And, Andreas Antonopoulos is great. He is great. He does do the marketing pretty well, but he is still pretty technical. But and people don't have to watch him or not. But he is a great spokesman, very clear.
Yeah. And he's only one man, though. He's only one man.
He's only one man, and he is pretty. And he is such a genius that he does get into technical stuff that gets complicated and bores people. So I want people to feel like they're not being excluded. I mean, because we need more and more people. We need this just can't be something that technical people do. It has to go to regular people. And the more I travel, the more I see that, no, we cannot be technical. We have to explain every little detail just because we know that that something's called Ethereum, that the number 2 cryptocurrency in the world is called Ethereum. And all of a sudden we're at a Bitcoin conference, we start talking about Ethereum. This happened in Zimbabwe when I was in Zimbabwe. No one knew what someone started talking about Ethereum. I'm like, dude, you can't do that because they don't even know what, and it's not people's fault. It's just people are on different stages here. And we should assume to just try to keep things as basic as possible so people feel comfortable. And, and I'm sure I'm guilty of sometimes talking over people's heads. And I definitely try not to do that because I want people to I want there to be a good vibe surrounding Bitcoin. When you're marketing, you don't want people to leave with bad taste in their mouth. You don't want them to leave. You want your brand awareness to grow and have a positive vibe around that brand. And I think keeping it friendly and keeping it on terms that your mom can understand, because I saw the internet develop over time, and at first I couldn't imagine my mother being involved in type of these things, but now of course there's so many things out there that all of our parents and some people's grandparents, I'm sure, are on the internet too. So I see the future of Bitcoin, mass adoption. We're far away from mass adoption now, but it doesn't hurt to try your best just to start it off. And for me, it's about marketing and keeping it easy.
Okay, I like that approach. I think that's one of the things that makes our channel popular with our viewers too, because that's one of the things that Leon and I like to do is break it down to the simple so that people can understand that, right? So right now you're in Baltimore, Maryland, and that's located on the East Coast of the United States. Now, are you available to do talks, right, about Bitcoin at meetups and at conferences? Because I know that you do a lot of conferences outside the U.S. and stuff, right?
Yes, I do. So I am. If people, I'm traveling around. I'm going to be in Lisbon, Portugal for a while, pretty soon. And there's a little tidbit not many people know yet. So yeah, I've spoke at things. I like to teach. I have friends in Africa who are great teachers of Bitcoin also. Lorian Gamaroff down in South Africa, who I'm going to have on my show. Maybe I'll bring him on your show too. He's like the Roger Ver of South Africa. He's totally awesome. But I enjoy being at conferences. My dream is to actually put on a conference. And the conferences in America are a lot of the times are just people showing off their new business, paying to appear, pay to play. While the ones in Africa, it was like more of like a learning experience type of thing. I like to get people who want to learn together with people who already know, and to get Bitcoin literally in people's hands. I think that's what the goal of a conference should be to break new ground in a new area, get people's hands on it, and just get them into the game. Instead of here in the United States, I mean, it's not like the whole nation knows about Bitcoin, but it is of the people who know about Bitcoin in the United States, it's very developed, and it's very technical stuff. There's a lot of businesses built around it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But no one's going to want to pay. A regular common Joe is not going to want to pay $300 to go to a Bitcoin conference in Baltimore or Washington, D.C. On the other hand, if you have a free conference in Mozambique or Namibia, you're going to get some interest just from people like, I don't have to pay anything, I want to learn about this. Because in some of these countries, they're just desperate to get out of their local currency and to try something completely new.
Hey, well, what is the best way for someone to contact you? If when somebody in my audience is listening to this and they want to contact you to go speak at one of their meetups or conferences in their country, what's the best way to contact you? What website do you, or is it?
Well, you can go to see all my videos by simply typing in disruptmeister.com. That'll take you to my YouTube channel. You can go, YouTube search for Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. It'll take you there. But if you want to email me, you can email me at adam@trezorhelp.com because I do some consulting. I do crypto consultations, and I do consultations over the phone also where I help people set up their Bitcoin Trezor storage device. And on my channel, I also talk about proper ways of storage. That's another thing. A lot of us take for granted that everyone knows not to keep their Bitcoin on an exchange. So many people keep their Bitcoin on an exchange. People, you should not do that. Just a quick reminder. But again, I Adam@trezorhelp.com. I can help you with your Trezor, of course, but that's the way people can email me. It's easy to remember email address, TREZORHELP, Trezor Help, Adam@trezorhelp.com.
And you also have a Twitter profile. Could you put that out there also? So because I know that you tweet out a lot of good stuff and news and stuff when it happens, right?
Yeah. Yes, I try to be kind of. I don't like do. You should follow me because I only do a few tweets a day, if that. It's TechBalt, TECHBALT. It's like Tech Baltimore, TECHBALT, TechBalt. I like to do retweets of guys that I think are really smart because you know what? We don't know everything, and I'm very willing to admit that I don't know everything and that I need to be corrected sometimes. And it's a learning experience. I want to help other people learn. And that's part of being a grown-up and being the man is admitting like, I don't know everything. So sometimes I'll tweet out Tone Bays. I'll tweet out Ty Zen. I'll tweet out Vinny Lingham. And Andreas Antonopoulos. All these are names that everyone should get familiar with because these are smart people that know different aspects of the cryptocurrency world and the big point is great. So yeah, you can follow me at TechBalt.
Hey, well, one of the things that I noticed about you, Adam, is that most cryptocurrency channels, they have like the mainstream people that's from the cryptocurrency community on their channel, but in private when we were talking, you mentioned that you prefer to bring Bitcoin to the masses and cryptocurrency to the masses. So you prefer to have people that are unknown in the mainstream Bitcoin community, but they are known in their areas of the world, right? So you bring people from South Africa onto your channel. You bring people from just people that you normally would not know as the popular people in cryptocurrency. What makes you take that approach?
Because there's a lot of different views out there. I think we're recycling some of the old people over and over again. And it's just, we've got to expand our minds a little bit. And again, they lean toward the technical side. Now, not that I want the regular, Amanda Johnson was just on my channel, and she is, the spokesperson of Dash. So that's a regular person who's definitely been around and everything, but it's great. It was an honor. So I'm not trying to exclude the old people. I'm trying to get some new faces on there too, because I know I feel like I know a lot of people, and I know people outside of Bitcoin too, like Andy Hoffman, who's huge in the precious metals world, and I want to get precious metals people into Bitcoin. I think there's I think there's like different fields out there, different interests out there, different hobbies out there that kind of border on Bitcoin that should know more about Bitcoin. So I try to not just have pure Bitcoin people on my show either, but people who are from other spheres, other ecosystems who do like Bitcoin, who you've never heard their full Bitcoin opinion yet. But yeah, I'd like to get people from, I don't think there's enough outside the United States or outside the English speaking world guests on some of these channels. So I've tried to get South Africa, Zimbabwe represented, and then just some guys I know who just know a lot about Bitcoin that just haven't been introduced to the world yet. You're going to see on my channel all sorts of different people, and the interviews have just started. I got a lot in the works, and it won't just be about Bitcoin on my channel either. Just like here, I'm going to talk about the altcoins. I'm conservative when it comes to them, but I know people want to hear about Dash. They want to hear about Monero. They want to hear about Ethereum Classic and Litecoin. So, and others also.
Okay. I appreciate that, man. And I really think that this collaboration effort will work out really well. Any last comments or that you want to share with the audience before we conclude this broadcast?
Yes, I would like to say to Tai Zen, Leon Fu, thank you very much. I am very excited about this. As everyone can tell, I am excited. That's one of my trademarks, I guess. The Excite Meister, maybe they should call me. But it's from the heart. It's from
the high energy Meister. The high energy Meister.
I have a shirt. A female friend of mine from a while ago once got me, and it just says exuberance on it. And she says, "That's you, Adam. That's you." And I do have a lot of exuberance. I am pumped about this. I think this is the start of something great, and all of you should be happy that this is the beginning for you guys too. There's so much opportunity in the Bitcoin world, and I think we have a really positive vibe going here. And again, we're not always it'll be great to have some things that we disagree on too, and you'll see that it can be done in a polite way without people insulting and saying everything's a scam to each other. You know, I'm not going to say, Ty, you're a scam. He's not going to say, Adam, you're a scam. We're going to be cordial about it. I think that's a good way to market cryptocurrency.
And so just a reminder for everyone before we conclude this broadcast that Adam will be doing his show once a week here on the Cryptocurrency Market channel. And sometimes it'll be by himself. Sometimes it'll be Adam and myself. And sometimes it'll be the three of us, me, Adam, and LeonFood.com. And we'll broadcast together, right? We don't broadcast as frequently as a lot of people like, simply because that's just not my style and that's not Leon's style. If you'll notice the pattern on our channel is that there'll be some times of quiet silence, and during those times of silence on our channel is usually because we're doing heavy research on some different ICOs, different cryptocurrencies, and then we gather research, make sure that it's as accurate as possible, and then we come on and we make a stream of videos for several days and several weeks, and then there's moments of silence again before we come. So we come in spurts. One of the things that I wanted to do to help you guys who are following us is that Adam is more productive in the video production than I am. I mean, he is like a machine. He broadcasts almost every day. He's very deep into the news on cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. And I think that this will be an extremely valuable asset to the channel for you guys out there. So thanks for watching us, guys, and thanks for following myself and Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. I can't say it the way you do, bro. I'm trying, man. But follow us, guys. Check back, and I'll leave all the information that Adam mentioned in this video. If you guys didn't catch it, just check in the description, and you'll find all the links to what he mentioned in this video. So thank you for following us, guys, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys in a future video.
See you guys.
All right, this will conclude the broadcast.